What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero.
And Lizzie.
And welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. In the last episode, Komaeda died.
I know.
Komaeda died. And before we get into anything, I want to call out every single one of you. Or
oh my
probably
god.
Like
yes.
99% of you.
The people watching this Let's Play who knew that this was gonna happen.
Since
who
the
watched
very first
100
episode.
episodes of us talking about Komaeda and just thought in their head like,
just wait till he dies.
Just wait.
You guys.
You suck.
The monsters.
You're the worst. This is why they like Danganronpa. They just like watching people cry and despair.
Relishing in our own despair. Oh my goodness. But yeah. You guys are monsters.
Terrible.
Anyways, yeah, in the last episode, Komaeda died. Komaeda was murdered, and now we have to investigate.
Yeah.
As a quick little disclaimer, I have half of my previous set of really poor earbuds that I was complaining about.
I know, yeah. This is like a super low budget, like Danganronpa recording right now.
Yeah, so I can barely hear anything. Lizzie can hear just fine.
Yeah, I
but
can hear just fine.
Anyways, what do you want to start off with? Do you want to chat with people first?
Let's chat with people first.
Alright, let's chat with Owadi then.
It mattered for Tanaka's killing and for Tsumiki, but it looks like it's different this time. It doesn't matter this time.
What doesn't matter?
The time. Looks like the time doesn't matter. It was clearly written in the Monokuma file. The time of the death was noon sharp.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a valid point, right?
Yeah.
Like, if information is hidden, or like...
Yeah, it's important for you to figure it out.
Yeah, it's important. If it was at noon, what were we doing at that time?
What were we doing? Well, right now, it's
12:30 p.m.
Oh, he still has his, like,
internal
thing.
clock.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a clock, right?
Yeah, and a little doll, and a little friend.
Yeah, dolls. So it also has a clock function.
Then that means Komaeda died 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago.
That's so soon. Huh? It happened that recently? He's totally a fresh kill.
Fresh seems like a bad way to describe it.
If that happened 30 minutes ago, was it around the time we were struggling with the bombs?
You're right. Those fake bombs were originally supposed to explode at noon.
But they exploded earlier, right?
Yeah, apparently, supposedly.
Yeah. Which means whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time is Komaeda's killer. But this could be kind of like when Nidai died. The killer could have also used some kind of automatic setup.
Also, the crime looks very detailed, so they would have needed time to prepare.
Then whoever doesn't have an alibi before we found the bombs is suspicious. Wait, none of us have an alibi for that time. That's when we all split up to search for the bombs.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh.
That is the problem indeed. I'm not freaking out about it like Soda, but I definitely can't stop thinking about it. When the Monokuma timer reaches 0 2 days from now, what's going to happen?
RT, man.
Huh? What's gonna happen? This rotten school trip is gonna end, right? We can finally go back home.
Totally not, right?
Carefree till the end. Does that mean you don't think that'll happen? Mana. Monokuma might be planning to make us do something after the countdown ends. Oh, what do you mean, something? Don't tell me.
Soda.
Don't tell me Soda. He's making us kill each other, you know? What could be worse than that? I don't know. But this is Monokuma we're talking about, you know? There's no way this will end smoothly with a countdown. Anyway, like you said before, if we screw up here, it's the end for us. For now, let's focus on the investigation.
Good idea.
Yeah, right mentality. We'll think about the countdown after we live through the class trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Then don't bring up strange stuff like that. Alright, Nanami, what do you have? Actually, I want to save Nanami for last. She's probably going to hold the most important information.
Oh, yeah. If only everyone could go home. Nothing would make me happier. No, we should finish the class trial, then think about what will happen after. Yeah.
Yet again, this mentality, right?
Yeah.
One of us killed Komaeda in such a cruel way? It's too bizarre. I can't do anything except laugh. I want to comment real quickly here, is that a lot of people get upset at people who laugh in these sorts of stressful situations, but laughing is just one way of releasing stress.
Yeah.
So like, everyone has their own different way of dealing with stress. Some people don't talk about it at all, some people express it immediately, they cry, some people laugh it off, and to other people that don't have that mechanism, it seems oftentimes really strange, really odd, borderline, like criticized for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually not that case. Anyways. Oh, so that's all.
Soda has to say.
That's all Soda has to say. Alright, then let's chat with Nanami. She looks like she's deep in thought while staring at the ceiling. What happened? Is there something strange about the ceiling?
Yeah, about that sprinkler.
That's one of the sprinkler heads that activated to put out the fire.
You can see a girder right next to it, right? There.
Oh, is that blood on it?
Can you see that red streak?
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Why would there be blood there?
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, why would there already be blood there?
Yeah.
Huh? Interesting. Oh, that's really faint. That's really faint in the actual picture.
Yeah,
and then, like,
but then they zoom it in and it's like super obvious.
Yeah, it looks like a chain of some sort was used.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if the pattern for the blood's gonna be relevant, but you know, you're right. I definitely see it. It looks like a small red line on the ceiling girder. Exactly as described.
Is that blood?
Blood? The color definitely looks like blood, but there's no way blood could get up there, right? Plus, it's in a straight line.
That's why I've been staring at it. I think it's strange.
It's definitely strange. I should remember this.
Truth bullet.
I should remember this. Truth bullet. Alright, so the blood on the girder.
Interesting.
I'm wondering what exactly it could have been up there. Do you think it's like... Oh, I mean, obviously it's got to be something that was attached to Komaeda at some point.
Maybe,
yeah. Huh. And it's got to be... And it wasn't affected by the sprinkler, right?
Yeah. I don't think so. Sorry, I'm kind of sniffly. So...
Anyways, let's check out Komaeda's body. I never expected Komaeda to die like this. He was always spouting nonsense about hope and trying to confuse the heck out of us. But even so, dying like this is just too cruel.
Yeah, I have to say this is probably one of the most, like, gruesome deaths.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Also, he wasn't completely useless. There were times we were only able to reach the truth because of him. Yeah, and this seems like way over the top from, like, a murder sample.
Oh, yeah, like, completely unnecessary for it to be this torturous.
Yeah, but everything good and bad about him is gone. We'll never be confused by him again. We'll never be saved by him again. No, now isn't the time to think about unnecessary things. I need to focus on the investigation right now.
What kind of sucks is that, like, because of this investigation and everything, like, they never have time to just, like, grieve, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Arguably, that could be a good thing, too.
They could be.
You know? Like, if they were to grieve, like, it would probably take a while.
Yeah.
Like, a long time to get over something like this.
Yeah.
And this at least gives them something to move on to.
Yeah.
For now, I need to investigate everything about this body that catches my eye.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Start off with the face.
Aww.
He must have been in great pain. He clearly had this agonizing look on his face when he died. His mouth is covered with duct tape. Was this to keep Komaeda from screaming for help? Jeez, what a horrible look on his face. The blood splatter all over it doesn't help either. It's a good thing his mouth is covered with duct tape, otherwise I wouldn't be able to look at him.
Got a minute? Sorry, excuse me.
Is she gonna undo the duct tape, I think? There
I
might
feel
be
like
something
she-
hidden underneath.
Yeah.
Nanami moved past Soda on me and squatted down next to Komaeda's face.
Yep.
And in one swift movement, she ripped the duct tape off of his mouth. Hey, what are you doing?
It'll be fine. I'll put it back right away once I'm done investigating here.
She's got a cute little face. She's like, don't worry, I'll put it right back. But putting the tape back isn't the issue, you ungrateful swine. You're gonna get cursed.
The blood on Komaeda's face. It looks like it mostly came from the slice on his left arm. If that's the case...
It's no use. She's not listening.
Hey, about the blood splattered on his face. There's no blood under the duct tape. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, which means the blood came after the duct tape.
Yes.
Well, what's wrong with that?
This duct tape has trinkles, like it was sticking towards the inside of his mouth, right? Komaeda was probably desperately moving his mouth under the duct tape.
Seriously, what's wrong with that? She means Komaeda's mouth was covered with duct tape before he got those wounds all over his body. So he tried to shout, which caused the duct tape to get sucked into his mouth a bit.
Yeah,
But what's wrong with that? Is that something we really need to worry about?
probably.
I don't really get it, but just put the duct tape back on his mouth already. I don't even know what Soda's trying to say, like, what's wrong with that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, what does he even mean by saying, like, what's wrong about that?
I mean, it could be like a disrespecting the dead kind of thing. Like, you don't want to, like, mess with, like, the way that they died or something.
Yeah, but, like, not,
He's
they're saying, like, oh yeah, like, duct tape was used, and, like, it was, like, they're telling him about the duct tape, and he's like, what's wrong about that?
Oh.
It's like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I don't exactly understand Soda here.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, this might be some kind of clue too. I should remember it. Okay, so that's pretty good to know. Duct tape. What else do we want to look at? I want to look at the left hand first. There's a cut on his upper left arm. His legs and right hand have stab wounds, but this wound looks like a slice. That's probably the reason that the wound on his left arm doesn't look that deep compared to his other wounds. Well, regardless, it doesn't change the fact that it's a hideous wound and there's blood everywhere. I think Nanami mentioning that the blood on his face is from the left arm is important because that tells us that the slicing was done when his arm was by his face. Which is likely so after he was bound.
Yeah.
Which, like, you know, helps with like chronology, right?
Yeah.
It might seem like that should be obvious, but like, this is
Maybe
Danganronpa.
not, yeah. There's something strange.
Strange? What?
Look at the palm of his left hand. I think that blood is from when his arm was sliced, but... Doesn't the blood splatter look strange? It cuts off right in the middle of his palm.
That's true. It's almost like his hand was on some other surface when the blood was splattered. You know, whether it was face down on the ground or he was trying to cover something else up on himself.
Yeah, which means that he probably wasn't bound.
Or he was grabbing something.
Okay,
Like he had his hand wrapped around something. I think either of those, or any of those sort of work, right? Yeah, it definitely cuts off. Maybe that's as far as the blood could reach when it's splattered.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, probably, but because he had his hand on something. Or because he was holding something.
Well, that would explain the blood on his palm, but...
There's something else that's strange?
When you flip it over and look at the back of his hand... Oh, weird.
Huh.
Here, there's also blood, but only above the middle joint of each finger.
Blood, but only above the middle joint.
This is really strange.
Shout out to fingerless gloves? No. No, but that wouldn't even...
It's super weird.
I'm trying to think of... What it makes me think of is when, like, fighters will, like, bandage their hands up.
Oh.
But...
I mean, like, his hand...
So, like, if you had, like, a fist, but that would be the only part. Like, the hands... I don't know, even. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Do you think maybe, like, the cord was wrapped around his hand or something like that?
Oh. Yeah, but why?
But, like, that's a really clean,
that's
like
a very
cutoff
clean
point,
cutoff.
you know? All I can think of is, like, I mean, when you rest your hand, like...
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that clean, I don't think.
It wouldn't be that clean.
And, like, this area would have
But if
to
you
be
rest your
clean
hand,
too.
yeah, but if you rest your hand on the back of your hand, like, from the middle joint up, naturally is off the ground. Like, if you just rest your hand naturally.
Yeah.
Right? So if you were maybe holding something, and then your hand, like, fell into potentially...
Wait, if you were holding... Let's say you were, like, holding something like this.
Right.
Sorry, you can't see my hands. But if you're holding something like this, his palm would be clean, and then his... But, like, and there's blood...
You would have to
splattered
really
this way.
awkwardly shape your... Because
Yeah.
that would be from, like, the base knuckles. That would get
that's
covered,
true.
not the middle knuckles.
I mean, unless it was, like, this, and it was, like, straight on this way.
I don't know. I think something that also might play a role is what part of his body was exposed when the sprinklers went off, potentially.
But are we assuming that he didn't get wet at all? That's occurred.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Because we don't know that there wasn't a sprinkler
Sprinkler in
behind.
the back.
He doesn't
Okay.
look wet. He doesn't
Yeah.
look wet, right?
Yeah.
But it is possible that something was covering parts of his body after getting murdered, and then the sprinkler went off and washed off certain parts of his body.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, but then we have to figure out if there's other parts, if he's wet.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Hey.
but that's just throwing out possibilities.
Yeah,
Just throwing
yeah.
out possibilities. You're right. Why is it only on this part?
See, it's just as I said, right? It's strange, right? I win.
I win. Yeah, sure. You win. Way to make a competition out of something that no one wanted to be a competition. But it's definitely strange. What did the killer do to make the blood splatter like this? Huh, very interesting. See, like how his hand is naturally resting on its back.
Yeah.
But it makes it sound like he was holding something. I don't know just yet. He could have been holding onto the rope. Like if he turned his hand or rotated his hand to try to grab the rope that was like binding him. That could have maybe happened. But
Even so.
I don't know. Okay, well, let's take a look at the right hand. Oh, burnt rope. Komaida's right wrist is tied with rope. But it looks like the tip of that rope burned off. Could this be the result of the fire? But that's weird. If the rope is burned off like this, why are Komaida's clothes completely unaffected by the fire when he was so close to the blaze?
Yeah.
Huh. The burnt off rope.
Interesting. This is a strange murder.
This is a very strange murder. This is going to be a tough one. I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah.
Huh.
Man, TBT to Danganronpa 1 with that murder, okay, that was so easy.
Yes. Yes. Shout out to Leon. Okay. We'll take a look at the knife. This looks like the knife that you can buy at the market.
Yeah.
The knife is stabbed through Komaida's right hand. Did the killer do this? How could they do something so cruel? I feel like...
This knife, it must be from the military base.
Oh, you know what? You know what? The rope probably burnt through for whatever reason, and the killer didn't expect it, so in order to keep Komaida pinned, they probably took whatever they had available and just used that to pin him, and that's why the knife is through the hand.
Oh, yeah, because otherwise his hand would have been free.
Yeah, like part of his body would have been free. He would have just been like flopping around and everything. But yeah. Military base. Okay, so I guess it's not from the supermarket.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, you're right. It looks like a survival knife. But yeah, that's what I bet happened. But I don't know exactly why it would have burnt off and Komaida wouldn't have been burnt, right?
Yeah. Why he would have been that affected.
Yeah. Interesting. Especially when like the end that is burnt is so close to the hand.
Yeah.
It's not like it was burnt like far away, right?
By the way, it seems the ones in his legs and left arm were caused by that same knife.
Which means after the killer was finished stabbing Komaida's legs and left arm, they stabbed the knife through his right hand?
I guess.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, it's so cruel. And then they finished him off with a spear. How cruel.
Then, does that mean the killer went to the trouble of using two weapons, a knife and a spear?
Yeah.
I wonder if they both were necessary. I wonder if one was like more impromptu, if something went wrong. I feel like, because like typically when something is all scattered all over the place like this, I feel like something didn't go according to plan, right? Kind of like with Saionji and Ibuki. Because like, can we really attribute all of this to someone's malintent? It is Danganronpa, so like maybe, right, of course. But I'm seeing like someone maybe even wanted to like torture him a little bit, but not all of this, as it seems right now, was necessary, right? Like talking about like the knife and the burnt rope, like stuff like that. Like
there was circumstances that
made some of these sorts of like injuries maybe even necessary to like getting Komaida in a point where he could be killed.
Yeah.
Maybe there was some sort of struggle.
Probably.
Right?
I mean, based on like the way his face was and everything, he clearly like was surprised.
Yeah, or I mean, not even that. It's just like Komaida fought back, and so whoever tried to kill him had like a knife and like basically crippled him by like slicing his like arms or his legs or something like that, and then put him in a stance where he could be like killed like that.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know if we really have a good picture of the scene yet. But they could have just killed him by stabbing him with a knife. Why do they need to use a spear at all?
That is definitely strange. Was there a reason they had to use it?
A reason they had to use the spear? Huh. Interesting.
Well,
alright, well, we can't look at anything else over here. Alright, let's take a look at the spear then. A spear with a flashy ornament on it is impaled deeply into Komaida's stomach.
There's no way around it. That looks like it's a fatal wound.
Oh my, what's this? Such a strange looking spear, isn't it? A cord extends from the tip of the handle, and there's an iron weight attached to it. I see. You use the cord as a whip to capture the enemy and deliver the final blow with the spear. I haven't heard of a spear like this before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that much about spears, but...
How long is this cord? What it makes it sound like is you have like a spear with some sort of cord on the end, and you're able to like use the spear, essentially kind of like lasso, trip up, that sort of thing. And given that it has like a weight on the end, it'll be able to like kind of wrap around itself so that it does like tie up, you know? But it's got to be enough slack that's at least like double the length of the spear itself, so that once you do tie up the person after it's wrapped up, you still have enough mobility with the spear itself to stab them from any angle.
Yeah.
Is this your first time looking at this too? Of course not. This is the spear of Gungnir, right? That's the spear that killed Enoshima.
Really?
Or at least that's what he called out for, I'm pretty sure. You guys can fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure.
Weren't there like a million of them?
Yes, but I think he was like, feel like the wrath of like Gungnir or something like that.
Oh.
I'm also probably mispronouncing that, but
Wow, I don't remember that at all.
I feel like that's it.
Okay.
I feel like that's it. I could totally be wrong, but I feel like that's it. You definitely just came up with that now. By the way, I wanted to ask you, where did that spear come from?
I feel like I saw it at Nezumi Castle, yeah.
What? Nezumi Castle? I was designed to be afraid of mice, so I can't go in there.
Oh.
Darn you mice! Darn you all! Maybe that's why Komaeda planted that password thing specifically in there. Maybe Monokuma doesn't even know how to get into the
ruin.
I see, even he doesn't know what's inside that castle. Well, more importantly, I need to focus on the investigation. The spear definitely catches my eye, but the weight on the end of the cord coming out of the handle, it looks like that part has blood on it too. But for some reason, this section of the cord doesn't have blood on it.
Oh, that is strange.
That's very strange.
Oh my god, there's so many like random
it's
sections
like such
that
a
just don't have blood. It's so clean.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like very like cleanly cut off. It makes me think there was either tape on there or that was the part that wrapped around something in particular.
Yeah, and that like got blocked from the blood.
Yeah. I don't know. It's about the size of a human fist. It's strange that this section of the cord doesn't have blood on it. Oh. It's about the size of a human fist. Do you think Komaeda grabbed it?
Komaeda, or maybe the killer?
I mean, it's possible that the killer grabbed it, but if the killer grabbed it, it wouldn't matter because they would throw it.
Oh, and
right?
then it would get blood on it?
Yeah, but Komaeda, if Komaeda grabbed it and then was like stabbed, the blood would go elsewhere.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be where Komaeda was grabbing.
Yeah. I just don't know why he would grab it. Also, if he was already bound up.
Imagine if you had a whip thing thrown at you.
Okay.
You're not just gonna stand there and let it hit you.
Your reaction time is pretty bad.
Right? But like even then, you try to grab at it.
Okay.
So like that's at least understandable.
But so you would have to have held onto it when he got stabbed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like it's not that it's not that crazy to think that someone comes at Komaeda with this spear thing in the whip, launches this like whip thing at him and is holding a knife in the other hand.
Uh-huh.
Right?
And then Komaeda like grabs onto the whip thing.
Yeah.
And then he holds onto it.
As he maybe gets his arm slashed or something like that.
Okay, so that's why there's blood on the whip thing.
Yeah. And on his hand.
Yeah.
I think that's possible.
Possible, yes.
I think it's possible. Probable, maybe not.
But it's an idea.
I do think that this part of the whip could have wrapped around Komaeda's hand.
Oh.
So like that's why it would go around the back, like before his like mid knuckles potentially.
Yeah. So like they were aiming for his hand or something like that.
Or even that, no, not even that. It's just when he grabbed it, it would immediately wrap around whatever it stops it, right?
Yeah.
So that's possible, I think. Also, Nanami mentioned this earlier, but apparently that spear came from Nezumi Castle. It might be better if I confirm that later. Okay, yeah, so we're going to be leaving this place eventually and go to Nezumi Castle. Alright. What else do we have to check out? We can't check... That's all part of the spear itself. Okay, we can check out the feet.
I like there's feet, but not actually at the feet.
Yeah,
it's
at
like
the actual feet, it doesn't say feet. Oh, okay, maybe that's the closest thing, but it's like everywhere else.
It's like the thighs or the legs.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's check out the feet then. Both of Komaeda's legs are tied up. Each rope is tied to the pillars nearby. He wouldn't have been able to move at all. According to the Monokuma file, the wounds on his legs are all stab wounds. Does that mean the killer didn't just tie up Komaeda, they also stabbed his legs? Why would the killer do something like that? At any rate, it's pretty sadistic. The killer must have been holding a huge grudge toward him. Or they might have been torturing him. Torture? I mean, if they just wanted to kill him, they could have just stabbed him once in the chest, right? If you disregard the spear in his chest, the other wounds were inflicted for reasons other than killing. Which means the wounds all over Komaeda's body were from the killer torturing him. Again, I still think it's too quick to assume that.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like, we don't know why those sorts of wounds would be there. It seems very much like torture, but again...
It could have been like because something was not going according to plan.
Right. If that's the case, what was the killer trying to make Komida confess? Was it something that would have led to the traitor? Well, even if this was torture, there's no doubt that the killer must have held a deep grudge toward Komida. Refusing to let him die easily. I can totally understand a dark impulse like that. Ultimate Yakuza.
Yeah.
But even if they held a grudge against him, would they really have gone this far? Yeah, torture wounds. Oh, they're just straight up called torture wounds.
So I guess it's just torture then.
Well, maybe. I mean, they're still perceived torture wounds.
Okay.
Right. I guess I'm done with the area surrounding Komida's body. I guess we are.
Thanks, Gabe.
Jeez, I can't believe I actually investigated such a grisly-looking body. Even I'm surprised in myself. Does this mean I'm used to it?
Oh.
My classmate's dead body is right in front of me, and one of my peers is the killer responsible. And I have to investigate his death so I can find his killer. Am I used to something as abnormal as that? That would mean I'm becoming abnormal too. Aww. Poor Hinata. Okay, so I think the last thing we really want to check out is not... Oh, we can check out the fire grenades too.
Oh, wow, there's a lot actually.
Yeah. Are they all individual ones?
No, there's like a lighter.
Wait, there's a lighter.
Interesting.
There's a lighter. Interesting indeed. Alright, let's check out the Monokuma plushie though. That's one of the things I'm most curious about. Monokuma's dead. There's blood coming out of his stomach. No. No, you know what happened. I can almost guarantee you Komida was stabbed through that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right? Komida tried to use
Maybe
that as like a
shield.
Hey. No response. He's dead, Jim. That's pretty funny. Just kidding, I'm not dead. Is this one of the life-size plushies that were being produced at the factory? If you're mistaking a plushie for me, then there's something wrong with you. You're a stuffed animal, too.
Don't put oversized garbage there, it's so misleading!
What? What are you calling oversized garbage? Could this be one of Monokuma's tricks? Then why'd he do it? Making a hole like he got stabbed and going to the trouble of dirtying the hole with blood? Did he try to imitate Komida's body or something? I had nothing to do with that. Huh?
He's probably lying. Seriously, you're always lying. You should just die like that plushie over there.
Oh, Monami getting feisty
fire.
now, fighting back. You seem more pissed than usual these days, Monami, but you better watch what you say. If I feel like it, I can wipe you out easily, you know.
I won't give in to your threats. I'll fight you until the very end. I will definitely take back the seat of world supremacy for Monokuma.
What? Since when does Monami have such high goals?
High desires.
Looks like those annoyances are gone. Huh. If it wasn't Monokuma's trick, then who did this? Could the killer have done this? If so, is this Komida's blood? I have no idea how this connects to the incident.
Yeah, but it definitely does. I think it was a shield. Probably.
I agree.
It looks like the spear's about stabbed through it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
How did blood end up on that side of it?
Well, we don't see the back end of it.
That's
he could have. I mean, we also don't know. We don't know the orientation he was holding it. Doesn't matter.
But then, if the spear is stuck in him and he used it as a shield, shouldn't it have been stuck to him?
What?
So imagine.
I mean, the spear could have been removed and put back.
Yeah, but that seems kind of.
Does it?
I think so. Why would you like kill him with a spear and then take it out and then and then put it back?
Why would that be necessary?
Yeah.
To make how it happened a little bit less clear?
I don't know. I mean, we'll definitely figure it out, right? But I feel like, I mean, it looks like he used it to block the spear.
Right.
But what I feel like if he used it to block the spear, it still should have been on him. I mean, like, maybe the killer was like, I don't want people to think that, to know that he used this to block. But even then, he wouldn't have been able to hold it. Right? If he was bound up. Well, we also don't know if he was bound up with the spear hit him.
Yeah.
But, this murder is confusing.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that it got stabbed.
Yeah. And then are we assuming that this happened, like, actively while the killer was there? Or it was pre, and then there was, like, a setup, and then, like, the spear fell from somewhere, or...
I'd imagine that the killer had to be there.
Okay.
I'd imagine the killer had to be there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see. Even then, like, Komaeda could have been stabbed once. Komaeda could have been stabbed more than once in the abdomen.
Yeah. It's
One,
true.
you know, like once during like the fight itself, and then once afterwards when he's all tied up and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
Maybe.
I don't know. We also don't know, like I said, the orientation that Monokuma was being held.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So we
I was
can't
gonna.
really
Yeah, if he was held like.
we can't even say much about like which side the blood is on, right?
Yeah, yeah. I wish you could look at the underneath side of the fleshes. And if the
Agreed.
hole goes all the way through.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's also really important. But, anyways,
Doesn't seem like we're gonna get it though.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it. All right, so we've got a fire grenade and a lighter to check out. But of course, we are going to be checking that out in the next episode. Man, this murder is brutal.
I know this, and it's just like it's so scary knowing that we like don't have Komaeda.
Yeah, we don't have
Right.
Komaeda to help out with the.
I mean, I think that Nanami is gonna take a lot more of a active like figuring things out, helping us figure things out role. But
yeah, I feel like she'll have to. More
yeah,
or less.
she has to. Yeah, she's literally the only like intellectual capable of it.
Right, right. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. I don't know exactly where this is gonna go just yet.
Yeah.
It seems like there was quite the struggle, but it seems like there's still so much behind the scenes that went into this. A lot of intricacies that made it turn out into the exact scene that we see now.
Yeah, especially in terms of timing and like.
Yeah.
'Cause everyone was together for a while.
Timing,
like,
things
people
potentially
were
going
apart.
wrong, improvising, multiple
Yeah,
weapons,
the fire,
potential torture. Like, there's a lot
there's a
that
lot.
came into this. So, looking forward to figuring it out.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll see you guys next episode. But until then, this has been Night Zero,
And Lizzie.
and this mission is complete.